But a lot of you came here to talk about the book specifically. So I would encourage you to use that free package. It's awesome as a standalone or as a precursor or during your study of the Petit Prince. And here is my little fun things that I like to do with my students. Because, oh my word, the symbolism. Okay, right? Tell me, type in the chat box if you love this book because of the symbolism. All right, just give me a big whine or we. I mean, how beautiful is it? We already touched on le mouton, l'astronome, la caisse, les baobabs, les graines, le petit prince lui-même, là, les dessins numéro 1, numéro 2, le serpent. Don't forget, of course, the water, the numbers, the well itself, his flower, the other flowers, the significance of the difference of them, the fox, the seeds, all the characters that he met when he went planet hopping before he made his way to Earth, right? All those things are so, so beautiful, really. And that's what I explain to my students, that really the book is like a guide to life. If you understand the book, you much more better understand yourself, your relationship with others, living life to the fullest, basically, right? Okay. I love the comments. I hope you guys are reading the comments. They're incredible. Okay. Now, one of the most fun activities to do is talk about basic stews. So are you ready? Are you ready? We're going to talk about basic stews. Are you ready? All right. It's so beautiful. Are you ready? Okay. Okay. So as teachers, we always have this choice. We either tell them or we let them explore. Type in the box, which do you prefer to do? Just tell them all the answers or let them explore? I mean, it's kind of a loaded question, right? I mean, I know which one I lead to, so I'm going to write down my answer and I'll just add that to my little thing there. Yeah, let him loose. I love it. Absolutely. So that's exactly what I want to do right now. Let's explore. Okay. My fellow teacher rock stars, let's explore. Okay. So grab your paper and pen if you have right now in front of you. Okay, just grab a paper and a pen. This is exactly what I do with my students. Okay, this is exactly what I do with my students. Oh, there's so many comments you guys are writing out. I'd go off on a tangent right now, especially when Mary says scaffolded, because I mean, I do the DJ Delft kit, which is all about scaffolding, right? So yes, anyways, okay. Do you have your paper and pen? If you don't, okay, I'm going to give you the screen and we can draw together. But here's what I do with my students, and here's what we're going to do together, because I want us to do this together so you can realize how powerful this is. It's so cool. On your piece of paper with your pen and paper, write down basis dos 10 or more times in all sorts of different ways. So write basis dos 10 or more times in all different types of ways. You could write it out, you can draw, you can just whatever your heart is telling you. And I want you to keep your heart open and let the meanings of basis dos come to you, because everything in this book was chosen for a specific reason. Everything, okay? From the numbers that were used to the colors, to the use of water, and just everything, the imagery, everything is there for a reason, okay? Basis dos, absolutely for sure. So okay, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. I'm gonna take more sip of water. But if you don't have a pen or paper, I'm going to flip to this thing and you can use the screen now. Okay, you all have, oh, sorry, a lot of you have your pens, your online pens. Feel free to draw basis dos. I'll start us off. Okay. Here we go. So so you can write it this way. Just draw it any way you want to. Whatever comes to you. Okay, whatever comes to you. Okay, so you have to draw it 10 times. So maybe I'll do, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it backwards. Maybe I'll do it. Keep drawing basis dos over and over again. That's what you have to do. Not drawing pictures, not drawing Le Petit Prince. Draw basis douze over and over and over again. That's okay if you can't draw with me. If you have a pen and paper, please at least 10 times draw basis douze. Write it out. Maybe you want to write it out. So basis douze. Maybe it's 612 for you. Maybe it's, I don't know, but just keep doing that. 30 more seconds. Oh, love that one. Oh, wow, that's gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to grab my highlighter. Okay. Okay, that is cool. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Keep thinking out of the box. Keep drawing it. This is what I do. I have them sit for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and they write about basis douze over and over and over again. And then we think, pair, share, and they share with each other. And then the next thing they do is we talk about it as a class, and then I get up at the chalkboard, and they get up to the chalkboard, and then they start sharing. So let's give just 20 more seconds. All these beautiful basis douzes that are everywhere. Oh, so beautiful. Basis 112. C'est incroyable. So, why? Okay, so I'm going to call a halt on our drawings. I'm going to erase the drawings, all our beautiful drawings. And now I'm going to ask, what did you discover? So let me just go down here. Oh, gotta get my pen back. There. So if somebody could undo their microphone, if they want to share, what's your heart tell you that basis douze means? If you could share one thing even, what do you think any of it can represent it, whether you break it down?
Diversity.
Okay, in what way?
Well, I found that I could write it so many different ways. I wrote it like up and down. I wrote the 612 inside the B. I wrote it in letters. Just diversity. There's so many different ways that you can do it.
My God, I love that. And yet it's always basis douze, isn't it?
Right.
Oh, Andy, that's awesome. That's huge.
I always used to say B612, but
Ouais,
now that I
absolument.
hear it without the song, I hear B612, and then the beautiful way I'm writing it makes me think two halves of the same being, which sounds so scrumptious, but that's all.
No, that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Mary, you're stumbling across it. That's so beautiful. That's awesome. Anybody else?
Okay, ça va. Ça va, but the more that I wrote it out, the more it made me think of images from the story, the serpents, the moutons, la boîte, what's inside that box.
I love
and
that.
I'm not an artist, so
Right.
it was surprising.
No, I understand exactly what you mean, because I'm not an artist either. Like visual artist, I cannot draw worth anything. That's awesome. Okay. If you wanted to encourage your students, you could ask them to do these two things. Look at it from a math point of view, and then look at it from a visual point of view. And here's just a few suggestions that just might wow your students and make them understand the power of basis douze. And before I do, oh, okay, Jean or Jean, but Jean, can you, I don't know how you pronounce your name, but could you please undo your microphone if it's possible and just say what you just said?
Oui, c'est Jean.
Jean.
Yes, if we do the numerology, I just had written out the alphabet and saw that it was B-F-A-B. So I think fab, our students love to say things like that, I think they'll talk about, really embracing their inner self and who is that inner self. And I know when I do it with my seniors, they talk about that inner child. And when I do it with seniors, they're really moving between two worlds, right? They're leaving childhood and moving on to college. And so I think they'll really connect with BFAB.
Yay, we have a kindred, absolutely. Yes, without fail, every year I have students who realize that that's there. And we'll explain that for those of you who don't follow. We're going to explain that really soon, where Jean got that from, okay? All right, so let's go right to it. Let's look at the math first. So B, mathematically speaking, B is the second of A, whether you're using any type of equations or things like that. And A, of course, in this case, is the author, l'auteur, right? Antoine Riemann, right? So what is the B, obviously? The B is going to be the other part. And what is the other part? The other part is Le Petit Prince, which is his enfance. It is the child in him, right? So it's the A to the B, right? Those two things can't be forgotten. So that's beautiful. This basis douze, before I forget, you have to understand how powerful. Once the students understand what basis douze really is about, my students go crazy. And in their yearbook, I do this in grade 9, but in their grade 12 year, for MMM in their yearbook, most memorable moment, every year there's 1, 2, or 3 kids that will write basis douze. That's after 4 full years of high school. Not only that, we have a locker. We have a locker in our school that is basis douze, or basis sans douze, okay? And so I tell my kids, when you go by, they have to stop and they just pay homage to the locker and then they move on. I'm going to be asking we have a really great new principal. I'm going to be asking him permission to paint that locker with all Petit Prince stuff. So it's going to be really cool. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, how many of you considered what Louisa was sort of getting at, which I love this. Louisa, that's gorgeous. Please pop in with your, your mics and feel free to interrupt me because that's really good. Louisa just says 12 is the narrator, 6 is the Petit Prince, Bay is the 2. So we're talking about that symbiotic relationship between the author and the Petit Prince, which is his enfance, which is it's really himself, right? But when you take 6 divided by 12, you've got 2. So you have those 2. Who are the 2? It's those 2, right? There's no mistaking of why that is there. Next. Okay, this one's really powerful as well. The 12 of base 612 is 6 plus 6, which put together, if the first 6 would be 6 and 6 and 6, or 6, 6, 6. Since 6 in numerology or in literary form represents humanity or the human, and 3 represents completion, the conclusion is that 612 or 666 is the completion of humanity. So the planet represents that state of when we are actually whole with who we are. All right, I'm going to let you absorb that for a second. Next. Visually, start with the powers that be. So we have already touched on this a bit, but when you draw it like this, okay, when you draw like this, which is the whole thing, then you can see that the B is 2 halves. So let me just switch. Okay, it's 2 halves. And these 2 sides, they equal each other. All right, so B in itself is easily divided right across. That's kind of cool right there. Okay, Louisa, I love this. Louisa says, and oh, I wish you would just pipe on your mic. You just save these. These are awesome. Okay, I looked at it and say Saint-Exupéry, did certain things at age 6 and 12. There were some family things that happened to him at the ages of 6 and 12. Yes. And what number does he use most in this book? It is 6. If you go through the book, everything is 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, which again represents humanity. So he's trying to drop you clues and cues that what is it? This is not a children's book. This is a guide to life, and it's about understanding who we are, who our planet is in relation to the other planets that are revolving around us, so the other human beings and things like that. So yes, 6 is very key to the entire book. All right. Now, I don't know if this is weak or not or strong, I don't know, but my students often saw a face. So when they did a 6 like this, they saw like a nose and 2 eyes. So I don't know if this is where they were going with this, but a lot of my students see a face in it. So I'm not sure if They were going with that, but I've had so many students over the years bring this up that I'm not going to ignore it. I'm actually going to share that with you, because maybe one of your students themselves will come up with that answer when you're working with this with them on this. Okay, then this is another popular one. B is actually a smash up or a mashup of 1 and 3. Okay, 1 and 3. And then in numerological terms, in literacy, 1 being the independent or the 1, positivity, ambition, or leadership, and 3 being the completion. It means the point where the 1 is complete. So independent leadership is one interpretation of that as well. And 2 more for you. I just have to clear up the drawings. All right, 2 more for you. Next is, I always said I didn't know if this is a weaker interpretation, discovered by my eyes, but clearly it is not, because Jean came up with this immediately. And this is an explanation of her awesome discovery. B is B. Number 6 is F through the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. A is 1, or 1 is A, sorry, and 2 is B, so B fab. So my students, exactly like Jean said, jump all over this one. They jump all over this one, and it's really, really powerful. So B fab, and to them it's powerful. It might not be to me or to you or whatever, but they feel that the author is trying to tell them to be fab. Be yourself, be everything that you possibly can be. And the one that probably blows their mind the most is this one here. When you draw it over and over and over and over again, you will eventually draw it like this. So the bay will be here, but just let me get a different color here. The cease, if you're drawing it really quickly, you'll eventually draw it like this, and it'll come to you and it'll blow your mind. What do you see here? The 1 is a mirror, okay? And the 2 other numbers are mirror images of each other. So again, when he couldn't understand why Le Petit Prince was not answering any of his questions, okay, it was really, really weird to him. It's because he was actually looking at himself. He was looking at the younger version of him, the 2 being lower than the 6. So the younger version of him. And so the 1 actually represents a mirror, and it asks them to look at themselves. That's what the author's asking to do, right? Same thing with the end. Oh, aviator glasses. Yes, I love that one. Okay, keep that one down. That's awesome. Aviator glasses, definitely love it. And the other thing that I wanted to add, because this is the end of the road, is that the basis dues. Okay, what was I gonna say now? Okay, you just blew me away with the aviator glasses. That was awesome. Is at the end of the book. So the end of the book basically asks, if you're there in the desert and you see that exact spot in the Petit Prince, however you pronounce it, comes to you, can you please go and tell the author? And the other thing is, we're supposed to also look up and look at the stars. And if we think that the stars are laughing, right, then that means that everything's okay. And if we think that they're crying, that means that everything is not so good. And the author asks us to do this at night. And as I tell my students, you can do it every night. Look up to the stars. Are they laughing or are they crying? And there's your mirror. The mirror is between you and the sky. So basically you're looking at yourself. And then I bring out a picture of La Joconde, the Mona Lisa, and I show the students, many for the first time, Mona Lisa. And then I ask them the famous question, the reason why it's the most famous painting in the world, is she, like, what is she feeling? Don't ask if she's smiling or not, that you can, but say, what is she feeling? And whatever emotion they say, apparently, that you see the Mona Lisa, that's how you really feel inside. We have that mirror here. And so the idea is, what do you see? And that's what we ask the students. So I hope that this gives you some fun ideas of things that we can leave for our students in our Corona Care packages, okay? Because COVID-19 versus French teachers, there's no competition. Nobody can beat us when we unite, okay? So whether you're using it for an online or Corona practice, please have fun, enjoy it, let me know how it goes. But also, this is just one of the many ideas that are on my blog with tons of free, always free lesson plans, okay? So if you go to rockyourclass.com, you can check them out right there. Every Monday, I release one. This Monday, I bragged about Andy, Laura, all my friends in Chicago, where they had an awesome weekend with the AATF chapter in Dominican University. They had an awesome weekend with students. I bragged about how amazing it was and gave suggestions about doing your own, of course, once the coronavirus has passed. But check that out. But lots, I mean, hopefully you've seen the information where if you just go to educorock.com and you type in free download, you'll see like tons of different free lessons, right? A lot of them are tied to the Rock Your Class blog. So check them out. More importantly, if you liked this little session, I am here. I'm here with you guys. So I'm happy to meet with you guys again. We've had dozens and dozens of teachers together today. I would love to do this again, and we can pick a different blog theme. The next one I really want to try is there's a great one called Célèbre Escroc de Woodstock, and that's about Elizabeth Bigley, who is one of the most famous criminals ever to live. But her story is actually kind of exciting and inspiring in a way. And so there's actually a free storybook online about it and the resource package that goes with it. I'd love to share that with you because you can leave that with your students and they'll be working on that for a few days. So I hope you had fun. I had fun with you. You guys blew my mind. I love this extra stuff that you guys added. I had no idea. Aviator glasses and all this stuff like that, just so beautiful. So thanks to everybody who came, and look forward to seeing you next time we do one of these webinars.